Pendaeli and Thomas joined Food for His Children in 2009. At the time, they had 11 people living in their mud and stick home, including their children and other relatives. Today, they have 14, including their 8 children, and Pendaeli's brother's 4 children, as he cannot provide for them due to a mental illness. When Thomas and Pendaeli started with Food for His Children, they relied on income from their small farm and a restaurant, which was a space just big enough for a few seats and a cooking pot. They struggled to provide for their children, to pay for school fees, supplies, and uniforms. They dreamt of expanding their business and of paying for secondary school for their children. After starting with Food for His Children, Thomas and Pendaeli were trained in agriculture and livestock keeping. They learned how to build a goat shed, about zero grazing, how to feed goats, spraying goats for parasites, and how to preserve their feed. In the Food for His Children's Para-Vet training program, Pendaeli learned goat first aid, how to castrate, and how to properly deworm goats. Along with her husband, both learned how to use contour farming to preserve water and to plant ground cover plants that are drought resistant, as getting water in the dry season poses a significant challenge, which can include a 12-kilometer walk round trip. Thomas and Pendaeli used their skills they learned in the entrepreneurship training to build their business, save money, and join a savings group. In this group, they can pool their funds with others, take loans out for school tuition or capital for growing or starting a business. They started by saving $1 per week to add capital to their business. Having milk from their goat provided much-needed nutrition for their children and cut back on money they used to spend on food. This allowed them to save even more money to expand their restaurant and open new businesses. Caring for 12 children is a full-time job in itself, but Pendaeli made it a priority to lead her peers in the Food for His Children site in her village for over 10 years. After the program grew, her site was splitting into 2 groups. She was voted to be the leader and has been re-elected every term. As a leader, she advises new Food for His Children members to put into practice all they learned from Food for His Children training, as it will benefit their family and communities. Pendaeli said, "To be a leader is something very tough, because as a leader you may face a lot of challenges from people you lead. I insist on collaboration with the newly elected committee members and project leader to make sure our project is moving forward and we can overcome all the challenges." Today, Thomas and Pendaeli have a small store, a restaurant, a TV shop where people pay to watch soccer matches and charge their cell phones. By selling their goats, they are able to pay school fees so their children can continue their education. Once all the children are through secondary school, they will buy materials to build a brick home. With 12 children to support, it's always a struggle to get ahead, but together they have a strong spirit and are committed to moving forward to bless their family, giving them a brighter future. Thomas and Pendaeli have completed 14 of the 15 points of a healthy home, further demonstrating their drive to become all they were created to be and to be a good role model for their children and their peers in Food for His Children. Your gifts to Food for His Children are not just benefiting individual families, but blessing entire communities as people like Pendaeli and Thomas are able to provide for their children's education, start locally owned businesses in rural villages, and to lead others to do the same.